Okay, we're back to normal.
Cold here.
Holy hell. Holy hell. Again, holy hell.
We get runner to get us some more ammo. A face only a mother. And their heads. This is freezing. Got the wrong victim this time. Freeze to death. Double points. You're green, right? Oh shit. This. Machine gun. This'll leave a mark. Didn't even have to smell any zombies. You got your disgusting guts all over the floor. Hey, props! Prop department! You just saved my life, thank you. Peace. I am never coming for dinner. Cold here. Oh, that's better. We can see. I like it better when we cool. freezing.
Yeah, and I don't know if George can jump his big ass up over here. We're just gonna.
So, did we win?
We're wasting a lot of time. But we're also opening up a huge chunk of the map. To answer the question, yes, he can climb his big ass up here. Which is very alarming, but it is what it is, as some people would say. No! No!
I think the storm blew out the power. That's good to fix it.
This map is extremely challenging, and again, it is a very large map, actually. In terms of size, if you wanted to depict that by doors and by just sheer room size, this is about 3 Keynote or Toten starting rooms for just the starting room. And I guess it's not fair because Keynote or Toten is, has an upstairs section. And unfortunately, if you don't include that, then yeah. But also, I mean, the staircase takes up its own space. I mean, it's a really tight starting room, actually. And so when you see that, I don't know, it's just kind of alarming. So anyway, we have an M14 to start with. What we're going to do, we do something really lame. We're going to open up this door. We're not going to go all the way up there, though. We're just going to camp out in the starting room. Just have that door open for later, because when we want to escape, the M14 is a better starting weapon than the Olympia, just hands down. In terms of everything, yeah. Accuracy, magazine capacity, total ammo count. And the only thing the Olympia trumps the M14 over is just starting ammo. Now, depending on how you want to look at this, you could look at it a couple of different ways. As either the map's just being too hard or too simple. But there is no hellhounds in this map, which means that every 5 to 6, maybe 7 rounds, you're not going to get hellhounds, which means that you're not going to get a guaranteed max ammo. So part of the problem with this map back in the day is because it didn't... Oh, while the round's changing, we'll just grab those extra points. Always helpful. Always helpful. That way, this round starts fresh. We get all of our points. 1,700 is quite a bit of points, but then again, the price tag to escape is a pretty hefty price in and of itself. So it is what it is. So yeah, without hellhounds or without a specialized zombie for this round, it makes it excruciatingly difficult for whenever you want to get your max ammos. You could say George drops a max ammo, a death machine, as well as a free perk. He's not a hellhound. He's a never-ending threat, and the amount of damage you have to do to actually kill him is just unbelievable. I've never, and believe me, I'm not claiming to be a Zombies pro or anything like that, because when Zombies was a thing, I was a little kid. I was not a teenager when I was playing this game. I was really little. So to me personally, I didn't put that many hours in because of school, and I had other things like going on, like I'd go outside and I would also play other games on my DS mostly. And this was really my dad's console. And the other games I was mostly playing at the time were also PS2 games. So you got to remember, this was definitely not the only thing I played. It was my favorite game ever playing back then, Black Ops 1. Most certainly, by all accounts. It's just...
These guns ain't worth shit without ammo.
Alright, so there's that. We'll go ahead. We'll grab the M16. We'll grab that. 3-round bursts are awesome. They really are. Hopefully George is not by the state. That's exactly where he's at. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to strafe this way. We're going to have old George, Mr. Zombie here, chase after me. And he's already tried to whack. He's already whacked me once. He just attempted his second whack. So what we're going to do... Try to tempt George to swing. Okay, all right, he's coming that way. Cool, we can juke them both. Because while George is still in consistent pursuit of me from that direction.
What's it good for? Absolutely nothing.
And we'll escape back to the starting room. Because like I said, we're just going to camp starting room for a little while. Just wanted to go ahead and grab a better weapon. Because I know my M1911 is running out. This fog also, people really hated this. I got to admit, if they ever remaster this game, they should totally make it to where when you turn on the power and the lighthouse is on, it lifts the fog like 80% of it at least. And they should have added extra lighting around the map to help turn on, just to illuminate certain points of the map or certain points of interest, so to speak. That way you kind of, some people can get lost. It's a really big map. Actually, a very large map for its time being. But yeah, no, part of my Black Ops 1 nostalgia was this map. This and Shangri-La, man. These two were really awesome maps for me. Again, the thing with Shang was it was just unneedingly difficult. It was just the thing that I liked about it. I wanted to love that map the second I played on it. It was so different. The environment looked so beautiful. It came out of fucking Indiana Jones, it felt like. And I was a really big fan of Uncharted. So seeing this really exotic, beautiful Himalayan location in the mountains, like a tropical mountainous location, just looked so beautiful. And, because I was all into that stuff as well, it made it more likable for me. Just the way it looks. The challenges made the map more interesting and more difficult. Not only this, but the two zombie types that came out, the napalm zombie and the screamer, or shrieker, or whatever they called it, were really interesting to me. And you can interact with those. I have no idea what they do. So leave in the comment section what you think the interaction at the bridge does. Because I have no idea myself. It's already wave 4. That's okay. So now it's wave 5. We had to outsmart this guy. Like, now.
Now that's how you do this shit.
It's wave 5, and it's holding up a lot better than the Olympia. So, again, like I said, my big complaint with the M14 was why the hell did it not have a larger capacity mag? I mean, 8 rounds, really? I mean, come on, give us at least 12 rounds.
We're gonna finish them all up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. You stay quiet now, you hear? I'm gonna have to be slicker than eel if I want to get myself some more ammo. Circle the wagons, friends. I am completely out of ammo. I guess this is what they meant by hell freezing over, huh? I'm gonna have to be slicker than eel if I want to get myself some more ammo. Oh, yeah. Look like butter. Damn, oh, the witches. Damn, I ain't got a pocket of this. Finally, a break in the weather.
I'm just hoping to get a hold of Jug so I can survive a little longer.
Oh my God, I got to get the hell out of this water.
You're the zombie. Slay it to your face.
I guess this is what they meant by hell freezing over, huh?
Looks like George is going to find another way through. Alright, cool. We can reroute next round. Son of a bitch. Alright, listen, we got to get to Jug quickly if we expect to survive through this. This is going to get really difficult really quick.
Shit, this is a shit day in Shitville.
I really needed that last round.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah, dude, the PM63, this thing's classic. Oh, damn it. We gotta go another fucking round. Colder than a witch's tit. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Pack-a-Punch in a good area. We got one round in this submachine gun. Okay, yeah, stamina up is like a necessity for this map. Not gonna lie. Oh my god, damn, dude. You know, we got just demolished. No, fuck that. It's just it comes down to the whole, the lack of movement speed. Now, if they made your characters run just a slight bit faster, no problem. You can navigate this map pretty quickly, but you need stamina because you need to be able to run for a lot longer. You need to be able to run a lot faster. You just need to be able to recover a lot quicker because this is a big ass map to navigate through. So if you can navigate through it a lot quicker, I'm going to recommend that immediately because, if you have that option of being able just to navigate the map quicker and easier, then yeah, take that option because it's a big ass map. Like, what do you expect? There's Call of the Dead. We can do. Wants to watch me play Darius. Always just such a classic map. Each Zombies map was adding stuff new in World at War, but each Black Ops 1 map was just trying out newer and weirder ideas. Just the original 5 is just such a weird map with the whole teleportation stuff. I mean, it was really out there if you think about it, but it followed a very simple Zombies formula. It just added a whole bunch of other weird side shit, like the teleportation, elevators, those kind of things. But if you really think about it, Black Ops 1's maps are really fucking weird in comparison to World at War maps. World at War maps followed a very clear cut, single sided formula. Add something new for the map, innovate, keep players wanting something new. But Black Ops already had all that. You know what I mean? Like they took everything from World at War. Um, Treyarch did, and so when they combined all those ideas, they created the optimal zombies experience, which is Kino der Toten. And I think that's why the map receives so much love and praise, is because you see it followed that same World at War formula. Oh my god. What's happening to my aim? Like, you would never guess, right, that World at War zombies would evolve to even this. Like, this is really out there.
I love it.
And again, part of why I love Black Ops 1 Zombies so much is when they actually included these classic World at War maps. Like, okay, yeah, Shino Numa is kind of sort of out there as well, but I mean, it was such a simple map. Everything was simple. Call of the Dead really made things interesting, right? This is the first time you ever had a zombie pursue you, like, beyond rounds. Like, he never dies even in between round changes. And so George made Call of the Dead, in my opinion, hit or miss. The fog, some people hate it, some people like it. I personally mind it a little bit. Again, if they added like lamps and like other stuff to create illumination when you turn on the power to uplift the fog, or that way you sort of get a sense of where you're going, because that fog can get really deep sometimes, especially if you're on the lower brightness settings. Yeah, that could really blind you sometimes. Um, that could be kind of an issue. But back when I was a kid, it made the map very scary. See, World at War and Black Ops 1 maps were actually kind of scary. Again, Call of the Dead, you may look at it and you're like, it's not that scary until you play on it, and then you realize just how scary things are. The uncertainty. Um, you don't know if George is going to be right around the corner. He's always pursuing you, and he's slow. So the idea is you can always quickly outmaneuver him, get to an area where he can't get to you for the time being, but he'll catch up to you eventually. The whole is it where when and where is he going to get to me?
Glory, death.
Sorry guys, I had to kick it into like zombie god mode back there. If I didn't, I would have got domed. Help. Anyway, no, Black Ops 1 Zombies, it just, again, there were just things that made it scarier than other zombies experiences. Like the maps looked a lot more demented and shit. Where if you look at like the Black Ops 3 zombie maps, they're all usually really colorful. There's a whole bunch of like shit to make you more powerful. You feel less scared of the zombies. The game even lets you get hit 3 times without dying, without Jug. I mean, it seems like because it was more forgiving, because the maps seem more action based instead of horror based, it takes away some of the aesthetic. I also felt the same way with Black Ops 2 Zombies. None of the maps really seemed to scare me. Transit was kind of scary at first when you were out in the cornfield and you just didn't know. Now everyone kind of sort of knows where to go, what to do, all those things. The Avogadro or whatever they call that, the electric dude. he was hella scary because you had no idea how the hell to kill him. Like he was totally a different thing. He never once did they do that. An energy based, well, sort of. I mean, they had that napalm zombie, but he's like powerful, man, like and fast and scary. And I think it's beautiful. I think it is gorgeous. Just going back, playing the newer zombies, and then playing the older zombies, and just playing all of it, man. Just enjoying Call of Duty. Like I still to this day play Black Ops 3. I had all the DLCs for Black Ops 4. If I want to download all them DLCs back, I can. I can most certainly do that. No problemo. Consider it done. Consider Black Ops 4 zombies and b03 zombies to be on the channel more often. I don't care at this point. I just have a love for this stuff because, yeah, I truly don't like it as much as I like this older stuff. I love this stuff. Like to me, Black Ops 1 Zombies is like, you know, that really hot older woman, whether it's a teacher or your friend's mom, that you just cannot get. And you've always had a crush on her, right? To me, Black Ops 2 is like that girl in school you've had a crush on. She might be obtainable, she might not be, To me, Black Ops 3 is just like, you know, the cute girlfriend that's not too unattractive that you're able to get. And to me, Black Ops 4 is like the fat chick you get and settle with. You know what I mean? It's just what I mean by that is it feels like this is perfecto. This is what I've always wanted. This is great. This is perfect. Second one, it's good, but not great. Black Ops 3 is like it's okay. It works. It's fun. I can have fun playing it. I can enjoy it genuinely. Black Ops 4, it's like, I can still enjoy its presence and company, but without any DLCs, yeah, it kind of sucks. Some of the maps, some of the difficulty on some of the maps are just ridiculous. So anyway, I have played all of them. So now nobody see. I had a friend a while back who we used to have debates about this stuff, and his argument was always the same sort of thing. It's, well, you don't play the modern Call of Duty, so how would you know? Like, you won't even give them a chance. Well, I bought all the DLCs. If you call that giving a game a chance, then I don't know what is. Because to me, that's going above and beyond the requirements, really. And I used to be really good at zombies. We used to make it to round 25 on this, maybe even round 40 on this, no problemo. Those are our averages between those rounds. 40 being the higher rounds. I mean, I think one time we even made it to round 53, I think, at my friend Brad's house in his garage, because we had a PS3 set up in the garage because his parents were like, go outside. You're not allowed to come in my house. Take up mine. You see, okay, whatever. So we went to the garage and we hooked up the fucking PlayStation 3 in the garage with the outlets and shit. The TV set up and all that with an extension cord and everything else. So yeah, no, that's what we did, man. We hooked up a garage, got a couch, and it became, well, because their parents didn't really have any cars in their garage, all their cars sat in their driveway, and they didn't have much for storage. They let us use the garage because it kept us out of the house, kept us from, because their house wasn't very big. Either way, come to think of it, man, that's where I spent most of my time actually playing this, was at my friend's living room, in my friend's bedroom, because he had a PS3 in his bedroom, and sometimes he'd take it out to the living room when he slept over. Sometimes his parents weren't home, and they expected PJ, his older brother, to make sure that the house, everything's fine, whatever. And so when it was days like that, PJ would just let us use the bathroom, or not bathroom, the living room, while he was, he was with his buddies partying and, at their house. So he'd leave. So we'd have the whole house to ourselves. And so we were just playing zombies nonstop, just getting into lobbies, shit talking, people in multiplayer. I mean, it was an experience, man. Like that was, Friday nights, you know,
Swim in your skin, maggot whores!
yeah.
Feel that, freak sack?
And my friend's dad, he was in a band, and so sometimes on the weekends he'd travel out of town to do a show or something like that, and he'd take his wife with him, and so that's why his parents are gone for the weekend. That or they were on a vacation or something, and so either way, just me and my buddy, man.
Flesh is one of my specialties.
My buddy Brad, awesome dude. It's just eventually, man. To tell you guys the truth, eventually he started like hanging out with me and Steven a lot less. Now Steven was my other buddy. I knew him about 2-3 years longer than I knew Brad. Steven was a closer friend in my opinion, honestly. And we just sort of, me and Steven, our friendship was kind of weird. Like he met me when I was still playing with Legos and shit, like, and I built and played with Legos all throughout my childhood. I'm building Legos to this day. It's just, the thing with Brad and Steven is they lived in the same neighborhood as me. They just lived a little bit further away. They were closer together. But me and Brad, when we started hanging out, we realized how lame Steven was at the time. He'd bum us for cash. He would get us to start something and never finish it. Um, just like, some of the shit Steven would get started, like, it just wasn't worth the time. And so, for whatever reason, me and Brad both realized that. So, but Steven beforehand, man, me and Steven would just watch YouTube, listen to Papa Roach, fucking play on the OG Xbox and the PS2 because he had an original Xbox. Fucking hell. And I had the PS2. So we would play Halo Wars and shit like that, Time Splitters, Mortal Kombat, and then sometimes we'd go to like the library and use their computers to play like just computer games like addictinggames.com, cool math, flash games, stuff like that. And then he got his own PC, so we started doing that in his house, and we started watching YouTube, and eventually we just started watching anime and other stuff like that, like Naruto and stuff, and we were just kind of cool, man. And so anyway, long story short, that all kind of sort of ended. I mean, we did a couple Nerf wars, and we got into BB guns towards the end of it, around like the 6th, 7th grade, and we shot BB guns in the woods and stuff like that. But like I said, it was just mostly just me and Brad. And when Black Ops 2 came out, it was just me and Brad. And you know what? We just stopped hanging out in person. We just started hanging out more on just PlayStation and lobbies and stuff. And I remember it vividly. We just sort of stopped hanging out. And then eventually it just sort of came out because Steven came over one day for whatever reason. And so it had been a long time since I last seen Steven. And he came over. We were playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! For a bit. And then all of a sudden, he's like, hey, dude, can we go out for a walk real quick? Because, Steven, at this point, didn't want to ever play video games anymore or stay inside. He always wanted to go outside and talk and hang out and stuff. I was always the kind of kid that always wanted to sort of stay in at this point. Because when me and Steven were younger, whenever we went outside, we had this thing called Club Wars. It sounds stupid, but that's what it was, man. We would establish a club, and then we would have Club Wars because, there wasn't a lot of like wooded areas, and we tried to make fortresses and stuff out of like random trash and garbage we'd find out of the dumpsters in the apartments because they had the woods behind the apartments. They're pretty dense. And so I say the apartments. I'm not going to say what apartments they are because, just personal information that's in close proximity to where I still live. But I lived in like the houses next to the apartments. we actually never had anybody in our immediate group that was in the apartments besides Chase, because he lived in one of the townhouses in the apartment complex. So apart from Chase, which I didn't really hang out with a whole lot growing up. Now, me and Chase are best friends now. Like we're actually like he comes over and we sit down, we play Modern Warfare 3 survival mode, we go to the arcade. You know, we're kicking it because we're like the last remaining uh dudes of that friend group we had between Brad, Steven, me, Ryan, and of course Chase. There was a couple of other ones that were more of Steven's friends that weren't really my friends or Chase's friends. Or there were a couple of friends that were just Brad's friends that would just tag along. So we never really got to know them that well. Um, but yeah, to me it's crazy, right? Fucking, I spent my entire childhood in this house that I'm in right now, and I don't know. It's just something about in the basement playing Black Ops One Zombies. You know, it's just such a classic vibe. Now my basement's changed so much. My friends, so my outlook on life, my goals, aspirations, entertainment, all of it's changed so much. So it's just crazy to revisit something familiar. And so it's nostalgia. It's pure nostalgia. It's pure love. Um,
What could be better than the MP40?
yeah. I mean, like I said, there are just some parts of me that will never change. Again, I think most of it is just from having a very traumatic childhood, but also having a lot of close buddies. Like, I don't think people realize. I know I'm just going off on a rant. I know there's someone actually watching this, and so they're probably like, "What the hell is this dude talking about?" But I don't think people realize the power of friendship, man. Like the true power of actually having friends. Like if you have three really close buddies, I mean, you can do a lot of things, man. You get a lot of shit done with three really close buddies. And having more than just three buddies is kind of cool. And so we had an entire group. Now, like I said, most of the other people I didn't mention by name were because I really didn't know them that well. I can't even remember their name now to think of it. Because like I said, they were mostly just Steven's friends, and he'd hang out with them when he wasn't hanging out with me. So when that period of time where me and Brad started hanging out more, and I started staying inside more, whatever, yeah, Steven was hanging out with his other buddies, and so it was really weird. But I remember it. The reason why me and Steven stopped hanging out for a while, and it was because we were actually it was actually because of Black Ops 1. Um, so we were in the basement and we wanted to play more maps, and so we accidentally bought all the DLCs with my dad's credit card. My dad found out, and I got into deep shit. I had no idea what the hell was going on. And you know what? After a while, he stopped caring because he was like a huge fan of the multiplayer, which meant he was able to get in lobbies faster. Because, well, not really faster, because he had all the DLCs. He can connect to those lobbies with the DLCs. So he's playing on the new maps. He's like, "Wow, this is really cool." Whatever. He's like, "All right, He's like, "It's all right, son. I don't really care. I was gonna buy him anyway." And he's like, but that's beside the point. It's out of principle because you buy things using my card. That's not cool. That's money and stuff that I have to work for. And the credit card, I got to pay that back. And as a kid, I didn't understand anything he was saying, but that really happened. And I did not intend on actually doing it. I didn't think it actually did anything. I thought it was free. Of course, me and Steven thought it was free. We didn't really understand anything like that, but that happened. And so my parents blamed Steven and blamed me and said that, whatever. Like, how did you know how to use a credit card? I think it was that Steven kid because he was like a year older. But the truth is, I mean, it was our combined efforts. And really, it was just the whole temptation of having more maps to play on. So I had DLCs. The other kids in the neighborhood didn't. Which, guess what that meant? That meant a lot of the other kids in the neighborhood, when they found out that I had Black Ops 1 DLCs and they didn't, dude, they were coming over to my house to play my game hang out with me because I had something they didn't have. That was fucking awesome. Like truly. Um, of course, me and Brad would eventually have all the DLCs, and so whatever. But yeah, around the time I was I want to say the fourth grade. I want to say fourth grade, fifth grade. Yeah, is when Black Ops 2 came out. And so I remember in football practice, a lot of my friends back then when I was in football, which was throughout elementary school mostly and a little bit of middle school, I played football. And no, I didn't play in middle school. I only really played in elementary school. I never really got back into football because ultimately speaking, just like the time that me and Steven spent hanging out together, and I was just tired of just going back and forth to practices, re-signing up each summer, spending a lot of my summer at like doing football stuff. And I mean, it was awesome, but at the same time, it's just like, there were just some days where I just didn't want to do it, and so I didn't have to do it. So I think after, yeah, it was after elementary school, I think I wanted to go back into football in high school, and they wouldn't let me because I had to go to school half days. I couldn't go to school full days, and that's an entire story in and of itself. Because I was doing home instruction, where I would go to school for literally until 12, and then I would get a bus home. I know, right? Royalty. And then I'd go and see a tutor to complete the rest of the classes. So most of the classes I was attending in school were like those art credit, weight training, physical PE credits, those kind of things. So like a majority of those were just very simple classes. It's just the fact of the matter is, for the time being, it made it seem like it was awesome and whatnot. And then until I asked the coach, "Hey, man, I was thinking maybe next year I can do football." I was like, "Well, school board says you can't because you go to school half days." And it's like, oh, yeah, because I'd have to go see a tutor for the other 2 days of the week, and so that would interfere with practice, and there all this other basically BS. And so it's like, damn. But football was fun. I got to meet a lot of people, and some of those people weren't in my elementary school, but they would actually be in my elementary school or in my middle school the next year or so. So obviously I knew them as like Will, Chabron, Braden, Colin. Like some of those guys were not in my school, so because they were in the other school or whatever, we'd all eventually go to the same middle school. So when that came around, I already knew these guys. So it wasn't like I was entering a crowd of people I didn't know, which was kind of neat, I'm going to say. And so if there's ever any younger people watching my audience that are in elementary school, I hope not. I hope that there's no one in elementary school watching my shit. I hope not. But if there is, man, my best tip, if you don't want to go into middle school isolated, like you're just walking into a room with a bunch of strangers, attend sports. It's a great way of meeting other kids from other places, or do summer camp, or I don't know. You might encounter them, you might meet them, and then it's like, hey, you already have a friend. You don't have to meet new people. So I'm not gonna lie, man. It sounds lame as hell, but it's true, man. Like meeting people or trying to break the ice with people can be really difficult. Like it really can be. All right, let's try and survive here for a second. Damn, son, that's not a good. I'm screwed. Oh, jeez, Louise. We screwed ourselves, man. It's because we started talking about stuff. I think I got some Mountain Dew Baja Blast in my mini fridge. Hold up a second, dudes. Hold on, I'm moving this rug. Sorry about that. I had to move this rug because it's like the thing about it is there's no rubberized bottom and we have vinyl flooring down here now. And so the idea is it slides back and forth. And so when you got a spinny chair, I call them spinny chairs. Some people call them office chairs. With the wheels on the bottom. Is when you go to move it, it moves the whole thing, and it just feels weird. I don't want to damage it either. It's a really cool mat or floor mat or whatever you want to call it. It's of a Harley Davidson motorcycle.
How suspicious.
The rug, I don't know. Whatever you want to call it, I guess. I don't know. Keynote or Toten. I remember when we first figured out where all the meteors were. As much as I talk about my buddies and my childhood and whatnot, every time I play this, I always do. Always. Because that's like a core memory, Those are memories that I will take with me possibly until the day I die. And I want that. I want to remember those periods of time. And, I just remember growing up, I was around a lot of rich people. Like my mom would clean houses, so and these weren't just like residential, suburban houses. These were like, I'm not going to call them mansions, but they were pretty big houses, a lot bigger than what we had, at least 3 times the size of our house. So just seeing certain things as a kid, I'm just like, wow, that's really cool. And sometimes my mom would have to take me to work with her because my mom didn't believe in babysitters. So that's something that happened. I mean, there was a few times where they had babysitters, other kids in the neighborhood to just watch me for a little bit, for a couple hours, while my mom ran certain errands and stuff like that. And I remember there was a point in time where my dad went back to work because, see, he had open back surgery or something. Ah, damn it. My dad went through some back surgery, and basically something went wrong in the surgery, and so it got him out of work. But they found him a position where he can go back to work, and so he started doing that again. And just seeing all that going down was very traumatic, just in and of itself. So anyway, when I got off school, my mom didn't want me hanging out at my house alone, so this neighbor let me come over, and they would watch me till my mom got home. Again, until it got to like middle school, where I just started, they didn't care anymore. My dad wasn't in work anymore. My mom had to bust her ass and just to make ends meet. And I went from a pretty decent childhood in a pretty decent neighborhood to, we're struggling to make it. And I mean, it was really traumatic. And so, it is what it is. Everything's out of your control. And so that's part of what really messed with me. Is there's nothing that I was a kid. There's nothing I could have done. I couldn't have worked, like, and something that really affects me is hearing a lot of older people from 2 generations ago, or even last generation before my generation, say kids don't go outside anymore. And it's like, when I was a kid, I still went outside. But I look outside today, I drive around the neighborhood quite a bit. There's no fucking kids outside, like, at all. They're all inside No kids are buying toys. I've seen rants on YouTube about this. This is not just in my area. This is just everywhere. It's like they're trying to make kids not be kids. Kids have short attention spans. Yeah, I understand that. So you got to get kids really engaged in something, like learning. Like you can't just hand a kid a packet and be like, complete section A through B. It's like that's not. Some kids don't learn like that. You know, it's crazy to me that some kids spend their whole summers inside. Because I gotta tell you, I did the same thing in my middle school years, and I regret every minute of it. Yeah, I mean, during my middle school years, I went to the local pool and whatnot, public pool, a lot during the summertime. But during the wintertime, it was all inside, whatever. I built a couple Legos if I had any, but middle school's when I stopped eventually getting Legos. I was just focusing more on Yu-Gi-Oh and video games, and then I've just sort of been like diving down and up through different, like, I guess you can call them trends that I personally pick. Some of the time it's Hot Wheels. There was a point in time where I was buying a crap load of Hot Wheels, just collecting them. Then there's a point in time where I was getting die-cast aircrafts, getting a whole bunch of those. There's a point in time where I was collecting comic books. There was a point in time where I was collecting PS2 games. And now I'm at this point where I can collect everything. And I'm just doing my adult stuff. I'm paying off my car, making sure I have enough money to make it, whatever. So, I mean, like I said, it is what it is, and it's unfortunate that some kids don't ever get to experience going outside. And something else I've been getting more fascinated in is liminal spaces. They're like generated images of different spaces or areas or like rooms, kind of like the back rooms almost. And it's just like, seeing liminal spaces is just, to me, it's fascinating. It's like, dude, I've seen some of those places in my dreams. Like, I shit you not. It's crazy. It's like, have you seen these places in your dreams? And it just is like a compilation of different like liminal spaces. It's like, yeah, some of those places feel very familiar. It's crazy. Oh, sweet monkeys. Yeah, those are definitely a necessity for higher rounds on this map. Again, the game doesn't give you any perks. Well, I mean, they give you meal kick, but really you only get meal kick so that way you have a third weapon to have enough ammunition to make it 2 high rounds. So meal kick's a necessity. I will re-download Black Ops 4 and all of its DLC on my PlayStation downstairs if I can get it going, and then I will I'll let you guys know. Because to be honest with you guys, did not intend on that. In fact, we're gonna.
I will rush in and take them all with me. Today, I will send them back to their ancestors.
Look at that beauty, the L96A1. Oh no! What are you doing? This is one of my favorite weapons in all of existence. It's this rifle right here, the L96A1. Honestly, Accuracy International has outdone themselves with this rifle here. It's so classic. I wish they had this in the new Modern Warfare 2022. And don't say that whatever it is this gun. That gun says it's calibrated in 50. Gun is not calibrated in 50 BMG. I'm sorry, it's just not. The new Modern Warfare 2 2022, they also have the intervention. They're also missing an M1911, and Cold War is missing the Makarov.
They have been destroyed.
No! God damn you. Fucking monkey. I don't really mean to hit L2. I really don't. My fingers are just so big. It's accidental. It's alright. It's still early. It's only like around 5. I don't know, man. Maybe it's my hunger induced, whatever you want to call it. I need to eat food because I haven't eaten all day. I need to get out of the house. There's a whole world out there for me to explore. We're going to forfeit before we just get domed. It's only round 5. Gets erect on round 6. Oh, boy. It's been an hour. Fucking hell. What time is it anyway? My computer's about to die anyway. The computer I used to stream. I'm surprised this can even stream anything, man. This is such a nice laptop.
You said it was Cuba. What happened in Cuba?
Oh, man. Mission select. Operation 40. Such a classic mission. I should go through and complete the entire Black Ops 1 campaign for you guys. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great one. I'm going to go get food. I have $50 for food for the entire weekend, and I didn't spend anything yesterday, so I have $50 for one day. I think I can go get something cheap for just lunch, or to eat what's here, or do something, and then I'll just get a pizza for dinner. So I will see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.